in. He is.
And that was a very short duct tape. We are jumping in mid-series into DRG versus Oliveira. I was not expecting them to finish up so quickly. They had a very, very short game, and I'm actually not too sure who's leading the series because I asked and I wasn't told. So, so we're in game 2, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon. We have the Chinese Terran player representing KranKy Gaming. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing himself, as he is currently teamless. It is DRG. And it looks like, as I quickly check some of the other streams, it looks like Oliveira is leading the series 1-0. Okay. But yeah, it was a really fast game. I was surprised. I expected to go on a longer break, but the last game lasted around 7 minutes, like a 7-minute game, much shorter than I anticipated. So we are getting into this. Oliveira going for the low ground racks here. Meanwhile, DRG back at home going for a hatch gas pool. Very standard opener here from our Zerg player. Very standard. Meanwhile, Oliveira, interesting. So he's not going for a low ground 2 racks. He's not going for the Beyond opener. He is going for something a little bit different instead. I'm curious as to the order here of his buildings, as he's going to be going for a racks expand into maybe a factory on the low ground. Is he going for the special opener? It looks to be the case. Okay. Interesting. So the only people that I've seen do this build are special, and I think I've seen Gumiho do it. I think I've seen Gumiho do it once as well, maybe twice. So for Oliveira to spread his wings and to go for this as well is interesting. So it's going to be a racks into the factory. It's a very greedy opener just because, of course, your production is here on the low ground. But you are able to wall off here. You're able to secure your position overall. Of course, Oliveira is playing blind because of this opener. Like, we went Marine right into the reactor. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. If DRG were to be rushing into something like a Roach all-in, then Oliveira would have no idea. But as we can see, DRG is just going to be droning up and taking his third base. Nothing too fancy here from DRG. Even though he scouted the opener, even though he saw the low ground opener, he's going to be backing off and he's going to be respecting it. Getting into his game. Oh no, I saw some hero fans in the chat. No, not like this. It's PvP, Papi. It happens. It happens to the best of them. Happens to the best. As Oliveira is getting into his 1-1-1. Interesting. So a little bit more of an aggressive opener here. We have seen these variations from Cure and from Maru, but it looks like Oliveira is going for a Cyclone drop. Show us the medevac. There it is. Medevac is on the way. Cyclone in production. So the way that this works is that the Marines and Cyclone are going to be moving out. We're going to be hunting down Overlords. And gaining map control. Meanwhile, DRG, he does make a wave of lings, but it looks like he's really just trying to get a read on what exactly is happening. Now, there's some pros and cons to this. The biggest downside is that you lack Hellions for like some proper map control to threaten the bases. You're banking a lot here on this initial drop. Cyclone has been revealed. And Oliveira is going to be moving out, is going to be looking to hunt down that Overlord, the first of many. Again, I'm sure DRG is quite familiar with this. Again, Cure is very fond of this kind of Cyclone drop variation. It's been very trendy over the past couple of weeks. A shout out to the Dolph in the chat. Let's go, the normal man, the human being. He is leading the series. Let's go. The everyman, if you will. As we do get a lockout, and the queen is up. Can he get it? Up. He will get the queen as well. Big pickoff here from Oliveira, getting some overlords, getting a queen. DRG is getting into a safety Bailey that's just going to try to saturate his third base. Queens are moving forward as well. For Oliveira, can he get... Okay, not quite. I was like, can he get another queen? Lings are here, and they will deflect Oliveira for the time being. Back at home, he's getting into the rest of his Raxes, getting into Stim. into Cloak Banshees. Interesting. Hellions, meanwhile, make their way into that third base, and drones are getting roasted. Oh my god! The drones are lining up. 7 workers go down at the same time. The drop is deflected in the main base, but this is a 1-2 punch. There are no spores. There's a spore on the way in the main. Okay, spore in every single base as the Banshees are on the way. DRG hasn't seen anything yet, but it looks like he's been done dirty by this before. He is preparing for Banshees. Gases are being taken. First Banshee does arrive. And it will be deflected, even with Cloak. The spore is here. And Oliveira has to be very careful with how he maneuvers this Banshee. Meanwhile, back at home, he's getting into his 3rd CC. It is a late 3rd CC from Oliveira. Bear that in mind. Because of his opener, a lot of onus was on Oliveira to get damage done, whether it's killing workers or killing queens. And he did okay for himself. 7 drones. He did pretty good, actually. He's even here to deny this hatchery. Or he could be there to deny the hatchery. He's heading for drones. Looking for some more secure damage, but alas, he doesn't get a single worker. Good reaction out of DRG, keeping his drones alive. The Banshee is forced back. And Oliveira is finally getting his 3rd base up and running. He's just setting himself up here back at home, just working on a 1-1 timing. Unfortunately, again, just because of the opener itself, we can't really be too active at the moment. We're still waiting for medevac production. Again, we went into Banshees, and I would go as far as to say that the Banshees weren't quite worth it. They didn't really do too much. They did pin DRG back for a moment, but I don't think they paid for themselves quite yet, especially considering that they did delay medevac production to get into Banshees. And we also invested in Cloak. So we've been getting some value here for Oliveira, but again, we've also been getting some losses as well. But here we go, the army's moving out. 1-1 is done, Stim is done as well, and the medevacs have arrived. Oh, Pure Ling is going to struggle with the Banelings, but the Banelings are rolling in. Up! Good target firing, but the army is forced to pick up. DRG will hold. He's amassing more Lings. Infestation bits on the way for Hive Tech. Oliveira going to be sending out a double drop towards the north. He's going to try to split apart the attention of DRG. Green's going to be threatening these queens. Oh, one queen is going to go down. A good target fire as well on those Veilings. Really quick moves out of Oliveira. At the same time, he's looking to pull DRG apart, and he gets another hatchery. It's a cancel at least, not a kill. But he will deny the 5th. Oh, the mines! Up! Decent mine shots do go off, but the section has arrived, and we should be able to clean them up. At least they won't reset. Towards the south. Ooh, where are those Bailings, by the way? It looks like they were dragged over towards the north. And Oliveira is able to trade a little bit better here against these Lings. Ooh. Does take a Bailing to the face. Again, Oliveira, he's playing with fire. He's taking a lot of chances. As the Marines stim on forward, denying more of this creep. Oh my god, once again, good target firing on that Bailing. As back at home, as Oliveira is applying all this pressure, he's working on his 4th base. He's not going for a 3-way soul in. He's expanding, taking another. Working towards 2-2. And interesting, he's also going to be stopping some medevac production. He's going to be going into Liberators instead. A bold move, but he has been doing a great job at keeping these medevacs alive. He hasn't thrown any away. He's able to maintain his army as he heads towards that 5th. Widow Mines are going to be burrowing, and now Oliveira is pushing forward. No creep here. Again, he was denying this base so much earlier, setting up for this push. Oh god, massive mine shots are going to be going off as well. The target firing on the Bailings. Good split here from Oliveira. Is it going to be good enough? It looks like it will be. He takes out almost every single Bailing. Only 2 are left. Up! Even with 2 Banelings, DRG, he does hold on to that 5th base. Just barely. Remember those Banshees there? They come back. The Liberators have arrived as well, but do we have enough reinforcements here for Oliveira to keep on pushing? DRG is going to ignore the army. He's going for a big counterattack instead, and there is nothing back at home to defend. SCVs are forced off the mineral line, and a lot of workers are going down. Reinforcements have arrived. Oliveira, he loses 6 workers. Not too many. Could have been worse. I love that in the retreat, DRG takes down that sensor tower. Lords do get caught out. DRG, he's attempting to clean up this position. And it looks like he will just be able to clean up the ground army. Gets on top of the tanks. But in the process, he lost the 5th base once again. And it looks like this has just become too much. Oliveira snowballing out of control. He's just continued to deny base after base after base. And DRG, he just hasn't been trading efficiently. He's been bleeding out too many Banelings. And Oliveira, he is up heavily in the supply. He's been left untouched here when it comes to his economy. He lost 6 SCVs earlier, but really, what is 6 SCVs compared to what DRG has been losing? So another hatchery is denied. DRG going to try to go for a big counterattack. Banelings are rolling in. Oof. But at the same time, Oliveira is pushing out across the map as well. GG does get called, and Oliveira will take game number 2 and the series 2-0. GG. Very impressive there from Oliveira, just pulling DRG apart left and right and just trading insanely well. It wasn't like Oliveira was doing any critical damage to the economy. Like, he wasn't really killing too many workers, but he was denying bases and also trading so damn well against the Lings and Banelings so efficiently to the point where DRG just could not keep up. We saw a couple of times DRG, he committed to these big Ling counterattacks, but they weren't quite worth it in the end either. And congratulations, Oliveira will advance on in the tournament to face off against MaxPax. Meanwhile, some updates coming in. Clem versus Geralt still ongoing, still has not concluded. So yeah, Trigger is still lying in wait for his next opponent, and we are going to be heading over to the American server for some European on Chinese action. It's going to be MaxPax versus Oliveira. Let's go.